Hey guys, I'm Ryan.
And I'm Hunter with Mantis Defense.
And today we're reviewing Frantec ammunition.
Hey guys, we're back. As you know, we're taking a look at Frantec ammunition.
Today we had a chance to look at a few different loads that he has available. There are training or tactical velocity, sorry, that are 1100 feet per second. There is the max velocity or Magnum Velocity, those are 1400s, but he also does offer a high velocity, which is right in the middle at 1250. There's plenty of options out there that he offers. There's a wide variety. There's buckshot, there's slugs, there's the frangible tips that will actually expand. So there's plenty of stuff that we looked at today.
Yeah, one of the things that's really cool about this frangible ammunition, Ryan first noticed it through a company called Facati.
Yep.
And then as we were looking at it more and more, doing it for steel targets and stuff like that, we ended up coming across Frantec. This frangible ammunition is designed, when it ends up hitting any type of harder material, it immediately starts to turn into what is like a powder, a metal powder, to the point where, as you'll see in some of these photos and videos, it was impossible for us to try and collect a lot of this material. I mean, we have a bag here of what we were able to get our hands on, and we'll show kind of a little close-up of it right up here in the top corner, just so you guys can see that. That said, this stuff is great for training with steel targets because it does break apart, and it is much safer than running anything that's like steel core out at the range, which can, as some of you know, has a tendency to ricochet
Or overpenetrate.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and get into the ammo that we had here. We went through the tactical velocity.
The tactical set here is going to be the number 4 Buck CQBB trainer.
This is the penetrator, and it's also available. It does not come with the starter pack though.
Correct.
You can buy these in starter packs.
Yeah. He has a couple different purchasing options for these. They come in different FPSs, different sets. He has an FBI, he has a training.
Yep.
And he also has a couple low pressure options as well, which we'll get into that in a little bit.
They do sell a mega set, and the mega set I believe is $393 or so, but you know, you're getting a lot of ammo, so.
Yeah, we'll definitely put the prices down below and we'll link to Frantec for it. Let's I guess we'll jump into some of our results.
Sure.
For it. Let's start off with the Double-Aught Buck. This is what the Double-Aught Buck looks like. The Double-Aught Buck is 9 pellets at 1400 feet per second. As you can see, it had a nice grouping. You go ahead and ignore these larger holes. We were running a couple other tests on the same board because we ran out of boards shooting all this stuff. Very, very, I would say, powerful round.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would be my go-to for home defense.
Right.
It's a good round. If you want to reach out and touch someone a little bit further with your ammo, this is a good round to go with. Unlike what would be the number 4.
Yes, the number 4 at 1100 feet per second.
The number 4 at 1100 feet per second. It also comes in 1250. We recommend the 1100 if you're going to be using this for home defense. This stuff was perfect. We'll put a video up here in the top corner real quick for you. As you can see, it only went through 2 boards like this and then stopped immediately in the water capture we had behind it, which is much better than some of the other ammunition we thought would stop much shorter. But for home defense, we're sticking by the number 4. This is something I would purchase. I would keep at home myself personally.
All right, guys, this is number 4 Buck, 1100 feet per second, 24 pellets.
Going hot! This worked out really, really good.
Yeah, the Double-Aught kind of overpenetrated in my opinion. I mean, it was a nice tight grouping with it, but it did go and hit through the 2 boards, and then it managed to go through both of the containers of water, and I think it still hit the last board.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so that was just to see if like what would happen after it went through the 2 bodies of water.
Actually, if I remember correctly, I think this is the last board.
Yeah, so that got a little bit of it.
This is the last board.
Because we had to swap boards around.
There.
Now let's go ahead and look at the CQBB. We did some breaching tests, I guess you could say.
Yeah. If you go ahead and actually look up in this top left-hand corner, I'll play one of them, and then we'll stop and play some other ones for you in a moment. Right here, this is the CQBB. The CQBB is 1,100 feet per second. All the ammunition, minus the pellets, is actually going to be 325 grain. As you can see, it completely demolished this hinge in our tests. This, I would say, was probably the most devastating and effective of the rounds breaching. We also had another one that we ended up trying to test out, which we ended up doing the breaching training round. This round is actually very comfortable to shoot.
Yeah.
But it did completely remove the hinge from the boards, which is, I think, a good thing, but
it did its job.
It did its job.
Yeah.
The last thing that we ended up testing, which you'll see in the videos, is the trainer. The trainer round is 1,100 feet per second. The two things that I want to point out about using this round is, you can see in the video I'm pretty close. The training round it broke it from one side of the wood, kept it pretty much intact. That said, the training round is highly frangible on steel, to the point where I did get peppered on my leg by it. I didn't get hurt, it didn't break skin, and it didn't go through my jeans at all. So that's one of the, I think, crucial things to point out for this ammo, is that it is safer than most ammo on the market, because even though I did get spalling of ammo, it didn't hurt or break skin on me being that close to it, which is, I think, important if you're going to be using something like this.
Right. Hey guys, so we're going to test out the Frantec breaching trainer, 1,400 feet per second, 325 grain frangible slug.
Breaching round, test 1.
Alright guys, this is the breaching trainer. It's 1,400 feet per second. Test 1.
Going hot!
Alright guys, this is the CQBB. It's 1,100 feet per second. We're going to use it as a breaching round.
Going hot!
One of the last tests that we did was actually, we got some locks. Instead of using like full-blown padlocks, we used, you know, little school locker locks.
We use these because, well, I ended up picking these mostly on the fact that everyone has these. Right. These are some of the most common locks that you see on things. These are things that, in an emergency scenario, if you had to get into someone's lockbox,
that's probably what you're gonna find.
To get equipment out of it, or into a shed to try and get at something. These are the type of locks you see on most of those things. It is standard mastered combination. I can't even turn it. Standard master combination locks. And we ended up running 2 of them, and you can see very different results on them, and I'll let Ryan talk about that because he did that.
So we actually did 2 different FPS for these. The first one is obliterated. I'll hold that up in a second. I'll start with the second one. It's a little easier to hold. The second one is actually the breaching trainer. This is 1,100 feet per second. It blasted it pretty good, and so it didn't destroy it, but it definitely blasted it pretty good. So I mean, it's not functioning, but I'm sure if you had maybe hit it a little bit more square on, it probably would have come right off.
Yeah.
Now, the first one we did was a max penetrator round, and we hadn't even shot those yet today. And so we finally got them out, and we used this to breach, I guess you could say. And hold on, let me gather the pieces. This is 1,400 feet per second, and this is the pile that we have left of it.
Yeah, we'll put a picture up here in the top hand corner.
So we managed to find some of the parts. You know, it's very hard to find these, by the way. But like, there's the front case. Here's the latch, which was hanging by itself on the tree. Here is the back plate, which actually caught the slug, and so you can see it. It's that light color. We'll put a close-up picture of it. And then here's the
some of the guts.
Yeah, some of the guts and the part of the dial. And
the only part of the dial we could find left, and we walked around probably a good 15-20 minutes looking for parts of it.
Yeah, and so I mean, between the two, obviously I'm going to choose the max penetrator if I'm going to use it to do something like that.
Yeah.
But they both performed pretty well in my opinion. Let's actually talk about the Magnum Velocity. We didn't really touch on these yet. The Magnum Velocity Frantec, it's the 1400 feet per second. It's the top of the line, I guess, that you could say that he offers. And so there's a 3-pack they offer, but then you can obviously buy them individually. So first we have the, as you can see, the Double-Aught Buck is $24.99. That's 9 pellets. It's a ballistic match to the slug loads. There's the Operator, which is the one that has the two cuts that are made across to make it into 4 pieces. And with that is 325 grain frangible slug, and that's 1400 feet per second. Compared to the CQBB, which is actually like 8 cuts or 4 cuts or whatever, but it's 8 pieces that breaks apart on the 1100 feet per second. And then we also have the breaching trainer, this one, and this is 1400 feet per second. You know, it looks like this. It's got a nice little hollow core in it. So there's definitely some good options with it. There really are.
Yeah. Let's we're gonna take a real quick break. We'll bring our guest shooter in, which we think is very important, which is one of the, there's some things I didn't like about this ammo personally. There's some things I really loved about this ammo. The guest shooter that we're bringing in, I think the fact that she could handle it, we had her shoot what is standard skeet shot that you would use for clays and stuff like that first, and then we had her turn around and shoot, I want to say, the trainer round?
Yeah, trainer.
We had her shoot a trainer round after, and she said it was night and day. We're going to bring her in and have her talk about that a little bit. In this test, we're going to be running an operator round. It's 1400 feet per second.
Guns hot. Alright guys, so we're back with our guest shooter, Diana. She got to come out today and shoot some shotguns with us, and she typically doesn't do long guns. She will typically stick to handguns. You want to speak on that a little bit?
Well, I'm a beginner shooter, and I'm starting off on handguns. I'm trying to get used to it and comfortable and everything, so the long guns are, of course, a little bit intimidating at first, but shooting them today was fun.
You also have to remember her size being a little bit smaller. Yeah. How tall are you?
I'm 5 feet.
Being 5 foot, it's hard for her to reach out onto some of these longer guns that might be a little easier for the rest of us. But she still had a good time. She had a great time, and she got to shoot 2 different loads. We started her off with a
Sport Skeet.
Okay, so your typical load that you would take just to go trap or skeet shooting with your friends. And then we actually gave her one of the Frantec rounds, or 2 of them actually.
Yeah, we had her shoot 2 training rounds.
Okay, and those are the 1100 feet per second, 325 grain frangibles. What were your thoughts on it?
It was a big difference, like night and day.
Okay.
The first rounds that I shot were pretty rough, you know, like the kickback and everything like that. And then the trainer rounds were, as you'll see in the video, it was nice and smooth. I enjoyed it. It was a lot. I would shoot them again.
A little bit easier for you? Okay,
definitely.
Great. Do you have any thoughts on what you did today, or?
It was fun.
Would you like to do it again?
I would. I'd definitely do it again for you guys.
Would you, with these training rounds, obviously, we know that you have some friends that have always wanted to come and shoot with us and do training with us. Would you recommend them come and order Frantec ammo to come and shoot with us?
Oh, definitely, because I have women friends the same size as me or slightly different, and they would feel the same way about the nervousness and everything like that. So I think the Frantec training and ammo and everything, I think they would enjoy it as much as I did.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Any more questions for her?
No, I'm good.
Cool. Thank you for coming out.
Oh, no problem. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Cool. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll come back and talk about the good, the bad, and what we think about Frantec in general.
Yeah.
Today we have a guest shooter, Diana. I'm 6 foot, and she's 5 foot. We're going to use a training round by Frantec Ammunition with a lower velocity. Going hot! Hey guys, we're back after our guest speaker. We want to talk about the good, the bad, what we liked, what we loved, and what we have to say pass on. I want to start off by talking about the operator round. This round I considered to be, when I thought about it, on paper to me I figured it would be the magic bullet, or in this case the magic slug.
Yes.
One of the things I expected was for it to break apart really quickly, because it's got some deep cavitations or grooves on the front to kind of help expedite it becoming frangible. When we did our tests on the wood, as I mentioned earlier, some of these we had rounds that we were testing on these. It ended up passing completely through, and I think we ran it through 4.
It went clear through 3 boards.
It definitely went through 3 boards, not stopping, and we were unable to find the round because it continued to travel. These boards are, which I'll put in the notes, I picked these up at Home Depot. They're bull board. The reason I ended up picking this up is it's not like strong oak wood. It's not super soft like some of the aluminum doors out there. I found this wood to be a nice medium for what we wanted to test. We want to put it kind of in the middle as far as materials go, because we obviously can't test every type of material with these slugs. So that said, there was definitely over penetration for us on the operator round.
Gun's clear.
It was going through solid material, whereas when we did our water tests for hydrostatic, or our non-scientific hydrostatic tests, these rounds just blew to little teeny tiny bits, to the point where we had more powder in the bottom of the jugs than actual parts on these. As you can see, they're little tiny parts, and most of them broke right along, especially in the operating set, or the operator set. They broke right along the brakes, and we'll do some blow-up shots and close-ups of that for you guys.
I mean, even showing the CQBB, the lower velocity of 1100, you know, you still can see some of the pieces. We didn't cut open one of the CQBBs though. We cut open an operator.
Yeah.
And when you cut it open, when you look at the back of the actual slug, there's a big deep cavity on that side compared to the front.
Yeah. My recommendation, if which we'll put our 2 cents in with Frantec, because I'm sure he's got great customer service.
Yeah.
I've talked to him a couple times. Great guy, really smart. He's got a great product. Ryan and I both agree. This is a guy you want to watch, because
he's got some new stuff coming out. Yeah,
it's going to be great. My recommendation would put the grooves, the cavitations a little bit deeper. The operator slug, when we took it out, I wonder if it would make more sense to turn it around and have the hollow point facing the other direction. I don't make ammo like this, so it might be a controllability issue coming out. Anything you want to throw in?
I mean, there was just a little bit of over penetration with some of the stuff. It really did the job that we were expecting though, for, you know, the breaching, and when we did the water test and everything, we were expecting it to break apart, and it really did. So maybe if, instead of using 3 boards spaced out for the operator round as an example, instead of going straight through, if we had maybe stacked them all, it may have broken and actually splintered out, you know, and spalled, I guess you could say. It did its job. I like it. I don't know if I would recommend the operator for inside the house, considering it's for 14 inches of penetration, but something like the number 4 Buck would be a great option.
Yeah. How do you think the operator would do against drywall? Standard, you got a 2x4, right, with 2 pieces of drywall on either side?
Well, I mean, if you know someone's on the other side and you want to take them out, there's your answer.
Yeah, the operator would definitely go through. The number 4, hands down, I would run the number 4 inside a house as home defense ammo. It's
Can you grab the number 4 board, actually?
Yeah.
Show them the back side of that thing. That thing's got shows a nut here.
This is the front of the number 4, and this is the back. As you can see, it's stopped.
Yep.
Definitely, it's got some. Let me turn it sideways for you so you guys can see. It's definitely got some rays in here.
Yep.
It packs some serious punch. Doesn't have over penetration. I'll definitely be ordering some for my home shotgun, for my home defense stuff, and keep it on hand.
Yeah. Also, the recoil really was manageable with this stuff. It wasn't overkill. It didn't hurt any of our shoulders, you know, because after shooting for so long, you would expect to get a little fatigued. This stuff ran fine for us.
Yeah, Ryan did a good job. We ended up having to. We were trying to put rounds one behind the other. We've done it before when we're trying to capture rounds. This stuff, first off, don't even try capturing it unless you have a huge water jug.
Yeah, please don't do any of this stuff at home. Like, don't attempt to do this stuff.
Yeah.
It was kind of a risk for us, but we were also put in the shoes to fill it, you know.
Yeah, we're doing it so you don't have to.
Right.
But I watched Ryan shoot and almost stack 2 rounds of Frantec ammunition, and we had our military consultant here earlier, and we both looked at each other and we went, "Holy, that's amazing that this ammo is that controllable."
Yeah.
So, anything else you want to throw in?
I think I'm good.
Cool. We'll put the links in below. As always, I'm Hunter.
And I'm Ryan.
And we are
Mantis Defense.
Welcome to the Thunderdome, bitch.